Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community by clicking a link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody, Militia Man and Crew. It's Friday evening, and I just wanted to say hello and hope everybody is well. And let's see what we have. We have quite a bit of good news. We have some interesting things that have transpired. And up front, just today, if you guys remember a couple days ago, I think it was on the 19th, I posted an audio from a member of ours, Hafid. And Hafid has been with us, and we've had some personal relationship via, back and forth and stuff. And he's attracted to Militia Man and Crew because of the integrity that we bring. He believes that we have some quality to all the information, and so that's why we have a lot of members, and I appreciate everybody. Okay, the good thing is that Hafid is capable of reading the language, the Arabic language, and I'm assuming writing and everything that goes with it, and fluent. Okay. I think his background is he's from Saudi Arabia, and he has British citizenship too. So anyway, he went to college and had some a group of people that he met up with in college, and they're part of certain tribes, okay, in the country, and they're friends. That's a good thing. So he communicates with them, and so that audio that I put out is a representation of me engaging him to answer some questions. Is this true? Is this true? And if you come into Patreon, patreon.com/mm&crew, you're going to find that audio. Okay. So anyway, I did it again tonight because again today we had some information that came from here in the United States of people that have effectively boots on the ground. Okay, and when I say boots on the ground, I mean literally boots on the ground. And so having some of that information is key because they called today and said proudly that they affirmed that they got information from the sources in the military, of course, that, hey, these guys are actually talking on TV, not just Channel 1 or Channel 3, but many sources, okay? So that's really cool because they're talking about helping the citizens. They're going to bring them purchasing power. Okay, so anyway, a sidebar, but okay, that just wanted to get that out. So that's out tonight. I re-uploaded it, so if you want to come in, join us, that's very welcome. Everybody that's in Patreon, thank you very much for being with us and supporting us. It's really good. Samson, she works really hard. She's diligent. Unbelievable amount of information that we get. And I thank her again, okay? I thank all of our members, Gigi, Poppy Peter, Petra, and all the background folks too, that we don't talk about them a lot, but there's many of us, okay? It's a lot of work, but hey, it's worth it because we have a good understanding. One other thing I like to bring up is that some of the things that we bring in is because we believe in it, or at least we think it should be talked about. And that's where we do is we give information, and come on in and check it out. If you guys have noticed, we brought up recently a new component to Militia Man and Crew, and it's just kind of a sidebar again, but it is about some cryptocurrency. It is real. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's growing. It's probably going to be the wave of the future. And also keep in mind that the technology behind it, we've talked about it. XRP, Ripple, for instance. There's others. We brought in one extra one recently. Whether or not it has any real validity or not, but that's for us to decide. Okay, and that's for you to decide because we have to do our own research. And I suggest everybody do your research as well because it's a key component. Get some understanding, and that's why we bring in so many articles. I can't touch all the data that Samson brings because she just is. She's the news hound of the world as far as I'm concerned. So everybody, if you come in, check it out, and you'll enjoy it. But by the way, Maher Saleh, okay, his article today, I think it was actually yesterday, but the bottom line, it says the population census is the basis for achieving optimal development. And what is development? Well, we all know that Iraq is going through a development process. They're going to develop their country into a whole new environment. It's going to be amazing because they're building one of the 10th largest ports, expected to be one of the 10th, or the largest port of Fa in the south of Iraq. And they've already showcased that. They've opened 5 berths for the ships. These ships are huge, you guys. They're massive. And they're going to bring trade into Iraq and on into Turkey and into Europe. So everybody knows is aware of that. So the financial advisor to the Prime Minister today, or no, Thursday, forgive me, that the population census data provides an important basis for achieving optimal efficiency in directing development fund expenditures. So the directing the development fund expenditures, where are they going to move the money? It says that the census provides accurate mechanisms for monitoring and evaluating projects supported by the development funds, ensuring monitoring their impact and achieving the required economic and social goals at the appropriate time and place. So obviously they're not stopping. They're moving forward to this. So there's going to be, again, an accounting and monitoring of the funds. The citizens are being educated, as we'll get into, and then they have expectations. That's the thing right now. The expectations have to be high because of the fact that people like Saleh, people like Al Nasuri, people like Al Sudani, Taif Sami, all them, the Ministerial Council of Economics, we beat this to death, but they are the key components. We shouldn't be listening to all the different not advisors, but some so-called experts, the doctors sometimes. They don't always have the same agenda as the political side. And I'm not here to get into that, but the cool part is that development funds are going to be a part of the social goals for the country. Social means taking care of the people. The people know that they're going to need to have all of these things, these development projects, they need to be funded. And the key component to that is the 2024 budget. We haven't seen that yet. And why haven't we seen it? Well, we haven't seen it yet today because why? Because they're hiding that until the last minute. Remember this. Going from a 1310 or 1320 exchange rate and changing it to a massive degree needs secrecy to a large degree, all the way through the process. But they still have to educate their citizens. They still have to indicate what are they doing and how are they going to do it and why. And that's what we all know is what we're expecting is to happen. So anyway, here this article is interesting in itself too. It says called Launching a Border Market Between Iraq and Iran. Well, obviously we all know that Iraq and Iran have a trading partner relationship. So this article talks about by launching a joint border market between Iran and Iraq in the Kenar port at the border, the trade between the two countries has been increasing, or it will be increasing. He points out that the inauguration of the Port of Fa in the near future, okay, he says, there's going to be the railways, airports, and roads that are going to be near the port. They're going to help what? Facilitate the transportation of goods and to other countries. It's not just going to be Turkey. It's going to be all the way into Europe. Okay, so they're going to save all that time I mentioned the other day. It's about 15 days. The amount of money that they're going to save, I mean, per ship is an amazing amount of money because it's very expensive to move those ships. Sometimes they're anywhere from 12 to 10, 12 or more $1,000 a day. So by saving 15 days, just to run the ship itself is going to save them money. Okay, time is essence because if they can save money, that means products can become cheaper. So anyway, it goes on and says that this gentleman points out that the political, the economic, cultural, and religious relations between Iran and Iraq, it says that the Khuzestan province, which has 3 chambers of commerce, plays an important role in the growth of trade between the two countries. So when they have got a kind of an important role and such a long history, Iraq and Iran have had trade for, eons, but they've also had war between the two, as early as prior to the United States and the coalition forces. So all of that happened over the last 20 years. But basically with what is expected from Iraq's side is a real effective exchange rate. I think that is what's coming. I think everybody has that expectation, and they're openly telling them that that expectation is real, and they're doing it through media. And so that's happening. The TV outlets have been describing the ongoings in Iraq, and also with neighboring countries and the trading partners. So to me, the expectations are amazing, and that's why I brought in that audio from Hafid, and I want to say thank you again, kind sir. Good job. Thank you for your input, and thank you for being with us and your kind words, reflecting our integrity. So thank you. So here's an article by another kind of an affirmation of things that are coming. Because if you guys remember, we talked about in my videos and what we bring in is that the world has expectations of Iraq doing things. And remember, if the World Bank is the one that said be prepared for shocks. They have to be careful with that, because technically having Iraq open up to the world and adjusting her exchange rate, her real effective exchange rate, what her true value is going to be reflected at some point in time in the Forex, because she's going to be doing international trade. So take it seriously, because here's this article. It says the information, or I should say, the International Monetary Fund mission that visited Egypt, trading partner, announced that the central bank has confirmed its commitment to maintaining a flexible exchange rate regime in order to protect the Egyptian economy from external shocks. So a large trading partner, IMF is exposing the fact that a large trading partner probably has some concerns because they have some issues with their own exchange rate in their own country. But they're saying that what they're talking about is that be careful, make sure that you're in line with this in order to protect the Egyptian economy from external shocks. That's really big. Look, Egypt is a significant trading partner. As of January 2024 through May 2024, the exchange from Egypt increased to about $1.6 billion from about $1.4 billion in 2023. So that expectation of potential shocks that may come to markets is why they're talking about this. The IMF suggests that Egypt is committed to maintaining that flexible exchange rate. So in other words, they're going to be active. Once this happens, they're going to be active. So it's an indicator not just to Egypt, but it's going to be to everybody. All the central banks around that portion, the region, and the world have an expectation of change that's coming. So the IMF says this. I think it was yesterday, but the expectation of potential shocks may come to markets. So I don't doubt it, and World Bank mentioned it. The IMF now just mentioned it. So here again, keep that in mind that there's going to be some shocks, because think about it. If you own Iraqi dinar, you're going to have a reflection from that exchange rate, and just as central banks around the world that have the same currency. So it's really kind of a big thing. So fascinating. Is it timely? Of course it is. It's actually kind of it's blatantly. It's like, whoa, we're really getting close. This is getting good. So here's an article. Al-Sudani tours Baghdad and reaffirms the completion of projects on time. So the completion of projects, we haven't seen the 2024 budget. Again, the expectation is that they're going to expose that 2024 budget. It's the investment side, that tripartite budget. We've all talked about it, and it's real. Al-Sudani toured various neighborhoods and streets of the capital, Baghdad, and a number of its markets and shops, and met with a number of citizens and listened to their most prominent needs and requirements in the services and living aspects. He goes on and says he visited a number of service project sites and the infrastructure projects being implemented in several areas of the capital, where he renewed previous directives on the necessity of completion with timetables. Timing is huge. And what are they doing? The timetables have been prepared in advance for completing the projects and adhering to the engineering and technical specifications and implementation requirements in order to provide sustainable achievement for the capital and residents according to the planning development. So yeah, there's a need for the projects to be completed within specific time frames. That will mean the people will need money for the materials to complete the projects they've already started, and or that will begin. So obviously the 2024 budget exposure is what, to me, it's the key. It's effectively that Rosetta Stone, if you will. So let's see how this goes. Here's an article. It's like many pages, but I'm only going to get to a point. But I'll give you the heads up. It's in Patreon with Militia Man and Crew. It's in our Discord chat room. It's very vibrant. So if you guys come on in and join us and enjoy the fun, because there's a lot of wealth of information, a lot of it. Okay, it says the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar causes and treatments, and it's a very long article, but it's very explanatory. I would suggest you guys come in and check it out. But some of the key references that I think that are important are, it says they're making a well-established reform and financial and monetary position with their sectors to raise the flexibility of banking performance according to the global financial payment system, which is the SWIFT system. I believe that the ISO 2002022 is going to be a component with that. And again, that's a reflection, I believe. I can't imagine why not, because it's so fast and furious, and that's going to be the XRP technology. So keep that in mind. The economic policy should promote transparency. Well, isn't that what the blockchain does? Yes, I believe it does. And it does that in all financial and banking operations, through this application of clear and strict regulatory regimes to, they say, enclop the opportunities of corruption and exploit the exchange rate gap. So they're talking about halting corruption because of the technology, and it will also exploit the exchange gap. That's the parallel market, the black market, if you will. I think that's where they're headed. That's what they're exposing, and I think it's real, you guys. I'm pretty sure that the people that are really heavy in the dollar within that country and possibly outside are going to wish they didn't do what they did. It's going to change. So let's see how it turns out. But here it goes on to say that formulating an economic policy aimed at technical solutions to expand the base of non-oil production. That's going to increase their ability to get off that rentier portion of their economy, which is just oil. Non-oil revenue streams are going to be massive. And they've already started that a couple of years ago. So it says, formulating an economic policy aimed at technical solutions to expand the base of non-oil production and seriously planning how to diversify sources of income from the macroeconomic economy. The development of the agricultural and industrial sectors will be the decisive factor in reducing imports, and stimulating the growth of the accumulation of fixed capital for the private sector. Among them is a decrease in demand for the dollar for consumed import processes or purposes, okay? Look, if you think about it for a little bit, you guys realize that when they change the value of their currency, things will become cheaper. Now, will that be problematic if they have an exchange rate that's relatively too high or too low? Will have an impact. But the bottom line is that if they raise the value to, let's just say, if they come back to where they were before, when it was kind of shut off during that Saddam Hussein era, at around $3.22 to the dollar, they'll be able to pay for a lot of products and materials for a lot cheaper. And that is really going to be a powerful thing. And that's going to be a benefit to that, purchasing power. That's going to be a benefit to the citizens. They're already talking, which we already told you guys about, that they're telling the citizens about things in the news and what the expectation are. Those national cards, so there's been a rush. Their census, they want to make it accurate. So when it's accurate, when your census is accurate, they'll have the ability to be able to get their purchasing power indirectly and directly because of the nature of how many people are accurately accounted for. And that will help the citizens. And so they've been explaining that type of thing to the people in Iraq. And they've been doing that a lot in the last couple of weeks, and especially in the last week or so, that they've been hammering it home, putting it on TV all around the country. And that's what I described. People are confirming that that's to be the case. Okay, so anyway, the author in this particular article is suggesting things that need to be done. But to be fair, you'll find that it's already been underway. He doesn't describe that, but he's giving you the understanding of what's expected, what is to be done, what may work, and we already know that that's what they're doing. So anyway, take that one into consideration. It's a good read. And so here's another one that says, the Prime Minister directs the completion of the census process tomorrow, which is today, Friday. So they're hoping for it to be done today. Is it going to be? I don't know. You guys, look, think about it for a minute. You have electricity outs. You have overloads, people making phone calls into their data centers. Everybody in the country is wanting to abide by what they said. And so there's probably been some confusion. And if it takes a little longer, just know that it's being done. They're actually focused on this. This is not just a fly-by-night situation. This is a situation that they have help with international entities to do this work. And they've set it up. Maybe they did it too quickly, maybe not. But the point is to get it done, because they have some timelines, as they stated. I already said that tonight. Al-Sudani has some projects that need to be done. That 2024 budget needs to be taken care of. It needs to be exposed. And if they haven't exposed that 2024 budget, you go, why? Well, it's because it is probably really sensitive, in the sense of it has to deal with the real effective exchange rate. And so keep that in your mind tonight, and this weekend, into next week, is because if they're telling the people that they're going to do something, that expectation is pretty high. And if they're telling the people that, and they're openly telling them that there's purchasing power, and that the need for those national cards is really important, or you won't get the value that you're supposed to. That's why these systems have been, overloaded to some degree. Been a little confusion, but hey, just let it roll out. It's happening, as we can see. So the Prime Minister, Shia al-Sudani, he directed to complete the census process throughout today. And if that happens into tomorrow or the next day, let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. It says the Prime Minister's office said in a statement received by the news outlets, and it was directed by the census teams working on the implementation of the general census of population and housing throughout Iraq to complete the census as quick as possible in Iraq, of course. He says he also urged all citizens to show full cooperation with the mobile teams they've been provided for the last 2 days, and provide the right information in order to make the important development experience a success, which all service and economic sectors and development efforts depend on. So he's really, reassuring the people, come on everybody, band together, which we talked about in my last video, banding together. So look, basically, has there been some loose ends today that need to be resolved, tidied up, if you will? That's very highly possible. Hey, so look, at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is that the member that we have, he's not the only one. Hafid brought in some really quality information, and he appreciates our work, as I've already mentioned. I have another gentleman by the name, he goes by Shah, okay? He has the ability to read and write, and knows people obviously in Iraq as well. And his view has been correlated and triangulated, if you will, about what the citizens have been talking about. And the cool part about these guys is that they give us this information. They do it because they believe in us, and they believe in talking about what's true. And that's where we're at. So I want to thank Hafid. I want to thank Shah. I want to thank all my team members, 100%. If it wasn't for all of you guys, most of our audience wouldn't really have a good solid foundation. They wouldn't have that confidence that Al Sudani talked about. Al Sudani talked about it. The largest banks in the world talked about Iraq. They did that in the UN Assembly meeting back in 2023 in September. They did it again in Davos, and and they did it again in Munich. And so they're doing it now. They're constantly trying to tell people, effectively tell them what they're doing. And that's the biggest thing. Basically, again, you guys, thank you for your efforts. I appreciate it. Is it over just yet today? No. But the cool part is that we can see that the expectations are running really high. Getting your currency value of purchasing power, because you're going to revalue your currency, they're openly talking about things like that. Okay, they're just telling us like it is, and they're telling the citizens like it is on TV. It wasn't just one person, it's many people. And now we have a confirmation again from boots on the ground that is excited because they got it this morning. Again, the accuracy of our data was good. And let's see what happens. When do they do it? We don't know. We don't have a date. We just don't. But that's okay, because we can see that it's happening, and that's a sensitive topic because that's on them. And that is, that's where we are, watching to see what they do, when they do it. And we all know that there's specific timelines for publications through the Iraq, the Gazette, for instance. We haven't seen it hit the Forex yet. We haven't seen those things. But the cool part is that the citizens know that those cards are really important for them, and they've been educated on that. And probably why they got overloaded, because everybody knows now that they don't want to miss out. So hence, possibly it's taken a little longer for the census. Maybe not just possibly, probably highly accurately, because if everybody realizes and they finally get the picture, they're going to be going, hey, we're not missing out. So to tamper down the confusion, let it roll out. And let's see what they do, because that's basically what we're talking about here, is that if they're talking about it and their expectation, and we've triangulated it, I think we should take it really seriously and know that the importance of all the things that they've been saying, the cards, the census, accurate information, all of that information needs to be taken care of. Again, Pompey Peter put it probably the best way. I think I said it like, this is the key for the Iraqi citizens to know that it's going. His input was the Rosetta Stone. It's not just the key, it's double that. So anyway, all good. We know that the Turkey, Qatar, the UAE, Iraq, they have timelines. They have contracts that need to be taken care of. Those are things that are components. So the region is ready to embrace Iraq. The world is ready to embrace Iraq. And if you see tonight, XRP, for instance, that new technology that will likely be part of the process, not for sure, but it looks like it. It's on fire, you guys. I think it hit a new high that I've seen in recent times at $1.60. That's huge. I think it's phenomenal. It's showcasing. I mean, all the news that's out about XRP is interconnected with the dinar, in my view, because of the international trade. Many different countries, ones that people probably hold currency in. Vietnam's one of them probably. They've signed a deal, I think, today, or they at least acknowledged it, that they're going to be using it. The United States has acknowledged that they're going to use it. So keep that in mind too, because if that interconnectivity has to do with that new technology, like the Buna platform, the Arab Monetary Fund, tells you a story. It's powerful, enjoy, and I hope everybody has a really good weekend. Keep it close, keep it tight, and be optimistic. And my prayers go out to everybody. Thank you for being with us with Militia Man and crew, and thanks again for all your support. And we totally appreciate all of you've done, every single one of you that have helped at Zelle, Venmo, and PayPal. Thank you very much for that. And please, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel. or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.